Tansei Adventurers. I'm Todd Lyons, and I was going to talk about a supplement that I remember, but then I couldn't remember where I'd seen it. So the first place I thought I would go to was basicfantasy.org, and I was searching around for something called a character Tumbler. And instead, I didn't find that, but I did find this piece of spam here. So just a reminder, basicfantasy.org is basically the mothership of all development for this open source game system. And yeah, even if all you do is pop by every once in a while, see what we're up to, and flag weird spam, which fortunately does not happen all that often, yeah, any bit that you can contribute makes all of our lives better. So anyway, I did not find what I was looking for, so the next step will be go to a website, a web search, and see if I can dig it up there. So okay. Well, that's weird. Okay, so the first thing that pops up actually does go back to the website. So let's see what that says. Oh, and okay. It's basically a thank you to me for pointing Captain Clyde, he's another Ottawa resident, towards the website that I remember being able to find it from. So let's just, no, not that. Go back here. So the second one is a Reddit post, and then the third one, yeah, so here's where I originally found it. The strange thing is that this format here, the way that it's set up, this is the sheets that we provide for people that want to create supplements for the game system. So if it is somewhere on our website, maybe it's buried deep inside the forums and it's not findable. But in any case, thank you to Austin Schaefer from InfiniteDragons.com for creating this fun little thing, which I've gotten a lot of enjoyment out of. So I'm an owner of the big, ginormous DCC RPG book, but I've never played it. I've never run it. I've played it as a player, but I've never run it as a game master. But there are a lot of things to love about it. It's very raw and gritty. I like how it takes things like magic and really puts an interesting spin on it in a way that I don't find in any other games that I've tried so far. And two things spring to mind. One is for cleric-type characters, the effect of healing, both on the person you're healing and on yourself, can vary if you're a good character trying to heal an evil co-character, like an adventurer in your party. But the other interesting thing for magic users is how spells can have a detrimental mutagenic effect. And there's a wonderful art just showing like a fresh-faced new character versus a road-worn older character, and you can see how miscast and things like that have basically turned this formerly handsome magic user into just this horribly disfigured, awful, pitiable creature. Anyway, it's a lovely game. I enjoyed playing it as a player. I don't think that I would ever run it as an adventure, but as a collector of RPG things, that's true of a lot of stuff that I own. I really appreciate the basic fantasy role-playing game as a framework for making very sensible, nice defaults to run a good, not hard to understand, and a cheap system for all your players to be able to get on board with as far as buying their own books. But yeah. So anyway, this is a nice bolt-on for the basic fantasy system, where you can use something called the character Tumbler. And the concept of a character Tumbler is, well, in much the same ways we expect that brand new adventurers come from somewhere else, from the family farm, from their former trade, and go out into the field and just try their luck. This comes with the assumption that, okay, well, what if we could catch those people just prior to being a level 1 character, when they really are just getting out of the field of sheep, or getting off work from the clock repair shop, with only the tools that they would have for such a thing, a screwdriver, a cudgel, and sending them off on a one-shot adventure where, yeah, you don't expect that they'll survive. And so you roll 4 at a time, you run all 4. You don't get too emotionally attached to any of them, because the presumption is that they will die. And you just sort of see, well, how does that turn out? Any of them that survive that one-shot adventure there, then you can put the extra work, copy them from the simple little tiny Dungeon Crawl Classic style Tumbler character sheet onto a full-size basic fantasy one, and then Yeah, there's still the danger that they'll die, but it's not nearly as likely. They've already come through their fiery trial in order to even get to that level 1. So let's just have a quick look at this thing. It's 5 pages. There are so many great small, short, digestible supplements for basic fantasy. It's a wonderful system. You probably already know that if you're listening to this, though. So let's look at the steps in order. So everyone's starting with minus 100 XP. I don't know if that's actually tracked. In our system, it wasn't. The presumption from our dungeon master was that anyone that survived the adventure was automatically graduated up. But I suppose if they're feeling generous and they are tracking XP, you could begin your first adventure as a level 1 character proper with some extra XP from this 0 level process. Anyway, getting back to it. Step 1, record score arrays for 4 characters per player via the Iron Man technique, which is, rolling 3d6 down the line. And even Gary realized that was hardcore. And if you look at the first edition Dungeon Master's Guide, he had 6, I think, variable ways to roll and not have to do this 3d6 down the line for abilities. But anyway, you may re-roll boring characters, those with only +0 bonuses, and hopeless characters, those with -0 total bonuses on table 1-1. And by that we mean that if you look at the modifiers based on your 6 ability scores, if the net result of those modifiers is a positive number, you got a pretty good character. It's got a good likelihood of being successful. And if it's a net negative, when you add all those together, it could be a hopeless character. These I'm assuming this pre-made sheet here, which they say you could either use this according to the instructions, you could use this in as opposed to having to roll manually. But why would you do that? We like rolling dice. Clanky rocks are good. But if you have any hopeless characters, you can randomly look up this chart here, roll them, and see what you get anyway. I would be inclined, if you're going all in on the Tumbler concept anyway, just roll Iron Man style, 3d6 down the line, see what you end up with. Because, it's when you know that they're going to die up front, it's kind of fun thinking, well, this guy's hopeless. He's got no chance. Okay, it could go either way, though. You don't want to go in with 4 obviously hopeless characters and know, well, none of these are coming out at the end of the adventure, and I'll be sitting here for most of it watching everyone else because all my characters are dead. So step 2, roll 1d4 plus constitution bonus for each character's hit points. So, they're all normal men, I guess, at this point. So, minimal hit points, as if you were a non-fighter, because I guess you're not really. Step 3, roll on tables 1-2 and 1-6, pages 3 and 4, to find a character's race and occupation. Step 4, supplement each character's possessions with 1 roll on 1-3 and with 5 d12 copper pieces. Purchase additional equipment from table 1-3 if desired, and record 1 day's rations, your starting weapon, and your trade tool. Okay. 1 day rations because, this is meant to be a one-shot. It's strictly to see who will live and who will die. So, you don't need more than a day. It'll be easy to figure out who's lucky, who's smart, who's got enough abilities to survive. Step 5, record each character starting XP -100, saving throws by table 1-5, and attack bonus. 0 plus your dexterity or strength bonus. And damage, table 1-6. And armor class, 11 plus your dexterity bonus and armor bonus if you buy or you come with anything that could be interpreted as armor. And then finally, step 6, name your characters. And I would say this is naming something, whether it's an animal on a farm that you may have to eat someday, or a character which you know you're sending into certain death. Maybe not the smartest thing to do, but maybe a nickname. Not a full name. Don't think about their background or anything like that. Don't give them a backstory. Jed, and Clem. That's probably something. If they die, you gave them a few seconds of thought to name them, and if they pass away, who cares really? So let's just look at the tables in order. So this is the D100 for pre-rolled characters if you have a hopeless character, or if you just ask your DM, I don't like rolling. Yeah, that's nobody. 1, 2, the race table. So roll a d10. 1 to 2 is a dwarf, 3 to 4 an elf, 5 to 6 halfling, and 7 to 10 human, because, yeah, slightly more likely statistically to be out there. Table 1, 3, your equipment generator. So things that you might come with if you could make the case that this is something that you would have in your possession, or something that you would purchase with the aforementioned carper that you're rolling, just to bring with you. And I'm going to look for the things that should always be here. Iron spikes, if you've seen my videos before. 10-foot pole. Okay, absolutely. You absolutely need to have those two things if you call yourself OSR. Yeah. Not to say that the rest of them aren't useful, but yeah, the 10-foot pole, it doesn't get enough love. Table 1-4, saving throws for normal man. So yeah, for your 4 races, that's the core basic fantasy RPG book. These would be for Death Ray Poison, Magic Wands, Petrify, Paralysis, Dragon Breath, and Spells for, depending on, yeah, which race you've chosen. Table 1-5, Weapons and Armor stats. So, yeah. Would you come with any of these things? I don't know. Up for your DM to decide. I would say that unless your occupation doesn't really specify something you think that you could get away with, I don't know how you would necessarily get this. Let's see, table 1-5. Let's go back again. Because you can purchase from table 1-3. Armor and weapon stats. Okay, well, your mileage may vary. Let's skip ahead to table 1-6. So here's where it's interesting. Here's where, yeah, whether you're a beekeeper, a charlatan. What does a charlatan come with? A dagger, primarily to dissuade irate customers from your lousy tarot card reading, which seems completely fraudulent because, yes, circle back to charlatan. Hairdresser comes with scissors and a blonde wig. I don't think that that would really substantially affect armor class. A knacker? What is a knacker? Large knife and pint of glue. Okay. Mayor. So clearly you entered a political career thinking that it was going to be more lucrative, that it would just be more than it was, rather than having to open markets and kiss babies and listen to people complain all day. So you take your staff of office, using it as a staff, and your ermine cloak, go off into the field, probably die in your first encounter, and those things would be surely swept up by the other adventurers coming with you. Rag picker comes with a club and a sack of broken glass, and a vintner, complete with pruning shears as a dagger and a jug of wine. Okay, so yeah, lots of fun things that you could be. You could probably also suggest something else on this list. Yeah, as long as you're using something that's simple. If it's a club, if it's a dagger, a knife, yeah, there's a case to be made. What trade good and what weapon you could bring with you. Okay, and this is, as I was speaking to earlier, these are the little mini things. You take all 4 of your adventures, roll up 4 quick characters, don't put a lot of thought into them. Yeah, don't hang your hopes and dreams on any one of them, and just be surprised and happy if any of them actually emerge at the end of the one-shot still alive. And at that point, you could copy these things over to a proper character sheet. And that is it. So, yes, absolutely. Thank you. InfiniteDragons.com. Author is Austin Schaefer, who, yeah, has made it very simple for those of you like me who are basic fantasy RPG fans and also DCC fans to take a little bit of that fun from the character Tumbler and easily integrate that into your game for a cool one-shot adventure that, yeah, will hopefully lead some players that will last more than just the one-shot going forward in your campaigns with you. So that's it for today. Thank you. I'm grateful for you for being with me here today. Until next time.